The year 2000. Finally, the future had arrived. Festivities around the world celebrated the dawn of the new millennium. And although visions of space-age glamour never materialized, from cerebral experimentation to maximalist luxury, high style is essential for the year 2000. If you've got it, flaunt it. Luxury is loudly branded in an unabashed logomania. Drench yourself in rhinestones and take an extravagant stroll through Dolce & Gabbana's Sicilian market.
The inspiration from the market is because the market is the true life. It's full of color, it's full of energy, it's spontaneous, it's the life.
Versace sizzles with super plunging necklines in vibrant tropical prints.
There's a lot of fun, a lot of energy, a lot of passion.
Celebrate 30 years of Mackie magic.
I'm sort of known for, evening clothes that turn heads and make you look really spectacular.
American icon Bill Blass retires after a 40-year career in fashion.
I'd like to do a book, and I like to have more time to myself.
HUSSEIN CHALAYAN presents architectural, wearable furniture for the modern nomad.
I guess that I'm subconsciously influenced by architecture. I don't think looking at buildings necessarily inspires me. I think the whole idea of space for me is interesting.
And Sean Puffy Combs brings his magic touch and luxe street style to the runway with his Sean John collection.
We throw a pair of Sean John jeans on and just lifts your level of confidence. Makes you feel like you can conquer the world.
Plus more exuberant luxury at Christian Dior, Fendi, and more.
Never met or heard of a company that doesn't have a great strategy. I think what sets apart
Creativity, quality, and looking for the future.
I'm a true believer that the only thing that counts is execution, 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 and we executed very well.
It's a wonderful brand, but we have not looked at it enough in detail.
In fashion's game of millennium monopoly, the mega managers have set their eyes on the future. At the forefront of acquisitions are a trio that are proving to be master marketers and formidable competition to each other. Bernard Arnault, who looks like a high school principal beside his cast of designers, has a grip on the most luxurious loot, alongside holdings that include the best of bubbly and beauty. Arnault has amassed a roster of the coveted cool: Christian Dior, Kenzo, Louis Vuitton, Givenchy, Loewe, Lacroix, and CELINE.
The key thing for us, I think, is to make sure that we pay the right price for whatever we buy, and then most important is what we do with it.
Domenico De Sole, head of the Gucci Group, has been instrumental in the turnaround of the Gucci name and is now on the road to a multi-brand strategy. The recent purchase, the House of Yves Saint Laurent, with the designer Tom Ford at De Soleil's side, this powerful pair have a successful combination of business acumen and an eye for what's right.
We both have the same goals, which is to build Gucci and to make it a stronger and stronger and stronger company.
Miuccia Prada's husband, Patrizio Bertelli, found himself in the headlines last year purchasing majority stock in both Helmut Lang and Jill Sander. And in a partnership with Arnault, he bought Fendi. Operating in confidential meetings and occasional displays of bravado, these men will all have an impact on what we find desirable in the decade to come. Street style has long influenced designers, but this season, logo fever went to a new extreme with many designers leaving their trademark on the runways.
The whole idea of logos has become so important on the street, and this season designers are finally picking up on that. And there was this very fun sort of play on logos that we saw on all the runways.
To me, it looks in a funny way like the handbag wars. So you've got these different armies of logos like chainmail, and it's like, how many people can you get into each army?
All the prints, the geometric prints and the floral prints, they all really stemmed from manipulating the monogram logo and the damier logo. So they were all sort of based on the Vuitton symbols.
The Chanel logo is so famous, as you said, that's why I can repeat it, that I think there were enough of that. If you really look, there are a few, but you have to look. You are not only, how could I say, blown away by big logos. I did that in the 80s. Now the other one can do that.
Michael Kors readied for the Riviera with racy glamour for CELINE.
It's a mixture of, well, Michael had said Jennifer Lopez and Barbie. It's a little bit glamorous, but still very young because it's just a ponytail.
A silver and gold palette complemented the hair.
This kind of like silvery lavender colours around the eyes, gold gloss on the skin, sort of a silvery pewter tone on the lips, and some eyeliner, little corner eyelashes.
Heading for Saint-Tropez never felt so good. Hip tie-dye denim, languid fringe dresses, and simple suits to sun in. This was Kors' take on summer seduction.
When I think about glamorous, upbeat atmosphere, to me, I want to go to the south of France. Saint-Tropez is still a place where women get on a boat wearing heels and a gown. They don't pack lightly. This season, I sort of loved the whole contradiction of two things that maybe seem incongruous. Sort of if you took Jackie Onassis and you took sort of that kind of sleek, chic, clean, kind of sporty attitude, merge it with Jennifer Lopez. Sexy, glamorous, strong. You have the mix that I think makes modern women more interesting, ultimately. One of the things that we really loved this season was the whole idea that you're wearing jeans, but then when you touch them, you realize they're silk jeans. It's playing around with a lot of the clothes that we all sort of live in on a day-to-day basis. Jeans, t-shirts, easy cardigans, but let's heighten the whole thing and make it really glamorous and have fun with it. We're in sort of base clothes all the time. We're in t-shirts and jeans. So what takes it to a different step? Maybe your new ensemble is having a bag that matches your t-shirt. It's not only about what you have to tote, it's what you tote it in. As I'm working on something, my mind is just so racy that I'm looking at the next thing always. The wheels are always turning.
With actress Salma Hayek in attendance, Dolce & Gabbana transformed their venue into an energized Sicilian market.
The inspiration from the market is because the market is the true life. It's full of color, it's full of energy, it's spontaneous, it's the life.
This space is very famous because it's the art of Palermo. And in this place, there is everything. Cigarette, fruit, meat, but with one style very, very strong.
When you walk around in the middle of the market, you see the true life, the true people.
You can't help but admire just the level of kind of glitz and glamour and enthusiasm. The rhinestone trilby hats and the rhinestone coats and the 18-centimeter belts that are actually skirts. It's a show about taking things apart and putting them together how you would, that a woman can sort of mix and match her clothes any which way.
It was very fun and mix and match, and we loved the rhinestone bikini tops under the sheer shirts and metallic kind of briefs under everything, kind of hanging out here and there. It was really like fun and colorful.
When I think of fashion in this moment, I think I want to make something new I never see before. I want to feel something to remember, but new. In the color too, you know Guttuso, the painted from the 1670. I take inspiration from this. I use all the color. I use the white, black, and yellow, and green, red, everything. A lot of embroidery, but we use the embroidery in a strange way, unusual.
The thing about Dolce is that even when they are doing these camp theatrical clothing, the workmanship is so exquisite. I mean, the sort of the brocades and the embroidery and the hand-painted silks that you do just sit there with your mouth open, just stunned at the level of craftsmanship.
I'm sort of known for, you know, evening clothes that turn heads and make you look really spectacular.
7-time Emmy Award winner Bob Mackie has created spectacular clothing for everyone from movie stars to Barbie dolls during his 30-year career. The Fashion Institute of Technology recently honored Mackie with a retrospective exhibition, Unmistakably Mackie. The event reaffirmed the mark he has made on American pop culture.
Well, he's an American treasure. He really is. He changed fashion through his work all over the world.
How can one person be so creative and make all these incredible outfits? He's a genius.
Everybody has these memories of, oh, that costume that Cher wore. Remember when Carol Burnett wore that? It's really a part of pop culture.
People remember, you know, they walk into the gallery and go, oh, I remember that.
I walked in Wednesday morning for the costume fitting, and Bob said, I have this idea. And he hauled out this curtain rod. Well, I fell on the floor, you know. And then Friday, the whole audience went nuts. I saw it in the window, and I just couldn't resist it. And that was Bob. Talk about a sense of humor.
Designing for Carol, it was interesting because I could take my sense of comedy and make it work for her. Well, this is the famous Nora Desmond. She is based on the Gloria Swanson character in Sunset Boulevard and dresses herself up like the silent movies. And needless to say, Carol took it as far as she could.
I kind of work from the outside in. If I know what I'm going to look like, I know how I'm going to sound and how I'm going to walk, how I'm going to sit, how I'm going to behave. So the outfits totally help me do that, and that's Bob.
Performer Mitzi Gaynor was one of the first to recognize the power of a Mackie wardrobe.
My darling Mitzi, yeah, she's the first one to ever say, I'd like this kid to do my clothes. Mitzi loved color, she loved ruffles, she's a whole other kind of person from anybody else I designed.
It's all about fantasy. You know, any theatrical costume is all about taking the viewer somewhere else and giving them kind of a hint at what's going to happen when they walk out on stage.
This is for Anne Margaret. This was in Las Vegas, late 70s, I'd say. There was a huge billboard on Sunset Boulevard on the strip of her in this dress. When I met Elton John, he dressed kind of wild, but he hadn't quite gone as far as he wanted to go in clothes. He said, would you do some clothes? And I said, what kind of things do you want? And he says, I want things like you do for Cher. And that's probably the first outfit that I ever did for Elton. It was on a Cher special. And he sang Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Designing for Cher, all of a sudden into my life came this amazing kind of live Barbie doll who had an incredibly beautiful face and body, but looked different than the usual Hollywood girl. She could be anything I wanted her to be. This is probably the one part of the exhibit that everybody is most curious about because everyone wants to see Cher's clothes. And of course, everybody remembers this one. This was Cher giving an Oscar to Don Amici on the Academy Awards, and I believe it was 1986. She likes to turn heads. She likes people to you know, not approve of what she's wearing. And then way over here, if you can see that one, is the dress she won her Oscar in. That was in 1989 for Moonstruck. I always say, are you sure you want to wear this? It's really a lot to walk around in all night. And she says, yeah, I want to wear it. Give it to me. Up here, we have the famous Laverne, the lady from the laundromat. And she has her leopard skin jumpsuit and her little slip-on shoes. and all the funny jewelry and the kind of reddish blonde wig. Somebody said this is sort of pre-Dolce Gabbana, and I guess it is, really. When I was a kid, I was always interested in movies.
There are drawings down there from as early as 9 years old.
I thought, ooh, I want to be part of that. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did. I became a costume designer very early on. There's a joyfulness about doing something you like. And it's worked for me.
After an illustrious 40-year career, Bill Blass says farewell to his design empire.
I'd like to retire, maybe immediately. I'd like to do a book, and I like to have more time to myself. I think that still is the greatest luxury in the world, is freedom, time to be alone, time to do what I want to do. But I still get a kick out of the show we put on, and I find that enervating. Enthusiasm reigns supreme that day. But the rest of the time, there's too many other details about running the business that, frankly, I'm bored with.
Bill Blass, always, for me, one of the best. An idol, a man, a mentor, someone to look up to.
When I first came into the business, designers were totally unknown. I changed all that. I insisted on going on the road, taking the collection out. I wanted to work with the women who were wearing the clothes and find out about them. I knew people socially. I liked that world because that's how you get your inspiration also.
That's great art.
I sometimes dress 3 generations in the same family, the mother, the daughter, and the grandchild. That I find interesting too. But it's a woman who's busy.
Bill Blass is one of the great designers of the world. He has been doing it for so many years. It's always fresh and new.
He has a point of view and a chicness that is really his signature. I mean, he started it all, and I think he's given American women a way of putting everything together in the most elegant way.
His clothes are amazing. I mean, he's the first American designer that understands that women want to not only look gorgeous, but be comfortable in the clothes.
Backstage this season, the look is classic Blass.
Part of the thing is to be dedicated and love what you're doing. And up until a few years ago, I really did. Now I have misgivings about it all. But I still get a kick out of the show we put on.
His final collection included vivid, youthful twists to traditional Blass favorites.
It's a brief collection. It's spring and resort. We don't have such a thing called summer. And for years, we didn't have a season called spring. But now I think that they're really, it boils down to 2 collections, one hot and one cold. So you're going to watch the hot one. Either sporty or go for all the glamour you can possibly get. Always pure silk, pure wool, cashmere, anything that's soft and thin. Women hate constructed clothes. They hate heavy clothes. If you have beading, it has to be the lightest beading. This is something that I really like a lot because it's back to the really short skirt again. Sporty and glamorous. I like to think that they think they're classic. That my clothes ain't cheap, you know. A little suit like that is $5,000 bucks. So I like to think that a woman buys it, finds it classic, keeps it in her wardrobe, wears it a lot, and then retires it and brings it back again. I think increasingly even very rich people do that.
A continuation of relaxed, laid-back, casual charm. Clothes that reflect a kind of American nonchalance and irreverence about sophistication.
This is a special man and a special designer.
I like to think it's been an American point of view, that I have an American eye on things. But above all, it's what you yourself choose. And that's what makes fashion stimulating.
Big-name shows are often the starting point for defining a season's look. An excellent example was at Louis Vuitton, where style teams endorsed a fresh face and feminine hair.
It's just very fresh, you know, the use of colours, but all very lightly applied. Lavender, blue, green, maybe some yellows and ochres, pink on the cheeks, pink stain on the lips, finished prepared skin.
We thought it'd be a really good idea if we actually did salon hair for a show.
So what we're actually doing is we're blow drying the hair to perfection. So it's like really straight with a bend and a little bit of movement to it. Their hair's just going to be brushed back, very, very shiny, very loose, and caught in these Louis Vuitton hair accessories.
From his beginnings, designer Marc Jacobs has been a keen observer of what savvy women want. With the movie soundtrack of Working Women in the air, Jacobs offered a multifaceted collection for the modern woman he dresses. Updated Vuitton logos made for a graphic element. Silk and chiffon blouses soften skirt sets. And sleek trenches and hot pants put a sexy accent on the season.
This collection was really a celebration of every facet of life, I think, you know, from working to playing to jogging to dining to cocktails to dinner. It was a bit cliche, but it was deliberately a celebration of those cliches because, again, if you're going to have to get up and go to work, you might as well enjoy doing it. You might as well look fabulous doing it. What makes somebody contemporary is their ability to move around. The best, finest silk jerseys and silk chiffon jerseys, the best cashmeres, cashmere and silks, the finest cottons, the island cottons. Just, you know, 100% pure good stuff. All the prints, the geometric prints and the floral prints, they all really stemmed from manipulating the monogram logo, so they were all sort of based on the Vuitton symbols. I'm a foreigner here, so to be able to grow and start this new French family, it's really been great, and I love them dearly. It's been a great experience, and I'm just, you know, I'm glad that I'm really enjoying fashion again.
I can feel the energy. If I couldn't feel this kind of energy backstage, I already think that the show is a flop.
The show before the show starts hours ahead of time at Versace with the finalizing of hair and makeup.
This show is bigger than life, so the hair is going to be that too. We're setting it in sort of big curls and then back combing it really big and then messing it up just to look really big and sexy.
Hair and makeup's beautiful and everything's just perfect. It's Versace and everything's very sexy and it's always like so much fun, the best show to do.
Typical of any Versace event, this was a celebrity-packed affair with all participants eager to herald in spring's sizzle.
The first thing that struck me was the high intensity, high voltage color and the razzle-dazzle and the shine and the amount of gold and the 7-inch heels, and it's like looking around and saying to yourself, hey, suddenly it's all right to party again.
It was a lot of fun, a lot of energy, a lot of passion.
Donatella reinterpreted her brother Gianni Versace's signature bold prints into a lively Latino melange.
Took some of them and mixed them together and reprinted and put the fluorescent colors, the different shades of colors. I did a patchwork of the best Versace prints, but no shirt, because Gianni was famous for 80 shirts. I want to make a point about an embellishment, especially on the clothes. It really is different. The only embellishment as embroidered I use on the clothes are some Swarovski stone, which were made especially for me in different colors. Another embellishment is jewelry, but not real jewelry, or jewelry where you hang the stitch the dress on, so around the neck.
I thought this was Donatella Versace's super best collection. It was sexy, yet restrained and a refined sexy, and very, very wearable. I thought it was great.
Being sexy for me means to like myself. And I think women should learn to love themselves, even if they're not perfect. But the thing is to make a point and say, we are beautiful, we are intelligent, we can look better.
After coffee, the latest South American import to get your heart racing, Brazilian models.
The hottest girls right now are the Brazilians.
One girl after another shows up and she's absolutely beautiful, walks like a dream.
I love the Brazilian girls. They're so much fun. They've got no bad attitudes and they love to dance.
They just love the Brazilian girls because they move her hips, you know.
Every time I get to the show, there's 2 or 3 more Brazilian girls. I think the Brazilian now is coming, you know, like they're studying like everything.
A curvaceous teenager named Gisele Bündchen started the Brazilian Blitz several seasons ago. She single-handedly got designers to lift the embargo on décolletage. And in doing so, she has since commandeered every runway and newsstand and never looked back. Brazil, like the United States, is a melting pot, and this is reflected in the country's beautifully diverse faces. The latest faces in modeling's Brazilian Brigade epitomize just that.
I really love runways. I mean, I still even feel like that cold in my belly, you know. I'm really, really nervous just before entering, but it's really nice.
She's really, really great. Going to be a huge star. She has the best Barbra Streisand nose.
It's really getting away from that cookie cutter, perfect, beautiful, you know, perfect nose, perfect eyes.
You have to do your job the best that you can do. And it's not an easy job, but it's not a bad one. You can't complain about anything. I love everything about modeling, you know. I love to shoot, but I love like runway. This year I started to work like in Paris and Milano, and it was good. This year is getting, it's started to be good.
When I was 10 years old, I was asking my mom, "Mom, I want to be a model."
I'm having fun. It's nice knowing new places. I'm trying to do not plan anything, then I don't get disappointed. I just wait to see what happens. But I want to be a doctor after all.
I feel good because, I mean, you all know each other from Brazil already, so it's like all friends. So it's good though. Each season is more and more Brazilian girls.
We all know each other from Brazil because we do the shows there. We feel at home. It's nice.
I think every woman wants to look glamorous. Every woman wants to look beautiful and will want to look beautiful, even in the 21st century.
This season at Dior was no exception. Galliano's Luxe Leverage buyout meant an 80s opulence of gold, prints, and fur.
He definitely followed the kind of 80s super sexy theme with huge fur coats, a lot of croc, a lot of satin shirts, opened all the way down with tons of gold chains, tons of diamonds, very camp, very sexy, expensive clothes, but fun clothes. There's a lot of wit in this collection.
Christian Dior, I thought, opened with a really strong collection of real clothes for the woman that's going to wear it, and also the whole kind of Mary J. Blige crowd that is starting to wear his kind of stuff.
We saw beautiful bias-cut dresses, and it was very well done. I thought so well executed.
The ostrich coats and furs was a real luxury, and I think that John has done a great job bringing attention to a house that for a long time hadn't brought a new clientele in. I thought he did a great job.
Well, I think John Galliano is obviously a genius. He has a wonderful, inspirational mind, and sometimes that inspiration he gets a little bit carried away with.
A group of clothing that was reflective of all that he went through after he showed his couture. He got so much press by showing his couture collection based on the hobo that he did dresses out of newspapers to be reflective of all the kind of bad press that he got.
this wonderful theatrical event, which was quite a fun and a highlight for entertainment in Fashion Week.
Good morning. My name is Christian Louboutin. Louboutin for American, Louboutin for French, and Louboutin for English people.
In any language, the shoe fits for the many fans of shoe designer Christian Louboutin. His coterie of famous friends have turned Louboutin's Parisian salon into a haven.
Christian is a very special person. He is truly talented, truly intelligent, and truly witty. And he loves shoes. He loves women. And he understands what women do and what they want from their shoes. And I am a total shoe fetishist. So for me, shoes are very important. Shoes, I think, is like the punctuation to a sentence. You know, you put a comma and the whole sentence changes. And so he knows how to put the commas at the right place.
His talent was born from childhood pilgrimages to museums and fantasies of Parisian cabarets.
The thing which interested me was to design shoes for showgirls because I was very much into cabaret. So around my 16, 17, I would, call up Moulin Rouge, Les Folies Bergères, the Parisian cabaret. But as I was all the same very obsessed by things and they respected that, they would tell me a lot about shoes, and it's been a very big experience. So I moved on, and so I called different houses. And the first house I called was the House of Dior. And there was this very nice woman, Madame Hélène de Mortemart, and she said, I like very much your designs. Okay, go for Dior. We send you to Charles Jourdan. And I started at Charles Jourdan, working there for almost 2 seasons. And it was pretty tough, to say the truth. Because suddenly out of these fantasies that I've been having with all those wonderful girls, with really, strass, furs, shoes, music, I went to real factories smelling glue, tanneries, etc.
After a stint with renowned shoe designer Roger Vivier, Louboutin struck out on his own and began creating shoes for other designers.
The only solution which really appealed to me was to do my own company. So I took this place where I'm actually sitting now, but I didn't have any shoe, no factory, nothing. But I thought, okay, now that I have the place, I have to feed the place.
Louboutin's whimsical designs are now in demand around the world.
I love Christian, and if you've ever met Christian, then you can understand his shoes. He very knows how to dress a woman, but give it a little bit of a quirk, but in a classy way, in a very upscale, modern way. I love the red soles on all of his shoes. I think one of his first shoes that made him very well known in the United States was a shoe called Love. Both of the shoes put together spelled love.
And the trash shoe was coming out from a conversation that I had with some people, and they were like talking about minimalism, etc., which is not exactly my thing. Often it's just like, being lazy to me. These are hand-painted snakes, and there was a big thing on reptiles actually this season. And I love reptiles, but I love reptiles which looks the opposite of natural. So these shoes are made of shark skin, and they're perfect for motorbike because they're waterproof, they're very solid, you never destroy them. And I thought, again, as a mixity, to put it on something very, very delicate, women's shoes. If I can give one advice, for instance, always the thing that I'm saying is that I focus on my imagination. I cannot say that there is one person who is a muse to me. Yes, you know what? Muse, to me, my muse is life.
You just look at sort of all the problems and all these things have to be solved at the last minute, things that are late, but anyway, I'm excited. All these paillettes are made out of leather, Let's see, how can you walk? You can put your hand on your waist, and sort of... So, yeah. Hey, look at that. My goodness, everybody has long hair now.
How are you?
International charmer and award-winning designer Oscar de la Renta made his eclectic uptown looks come alive at a fitting with top models Maggie Reiser and Karen Elson.
Let me see, Maggie. Well, no, I think that we can cut it actually. So, how can she walk, man? I think that the outfit is too big for her. Haven't you think so? I think it looks a little bit too... This dress looks really big. And I have one pin just that I can pin it one second. Looks good, that on you.
Very sexy little dress.
Winter always is a very special collection because, you know, dressing for summer, you dress in such a light manner. And in winter, of course, you can express so many more ideas. A lot of the embroiderers in the collection, the cruel, embroider who has a very ethnic feeling, is very much things that I did in the early 70s. I just used these and then turned them into modern clothes.
The mood backstage gave insight to the clothes to come. This was about drama and richness of color.
It's brown cat eyes. It's like a very big eye. Brown, chocolate brown matte. And then the lip is like a kind of a dark, cherry burgundy stain.
The hair is very just easy, almost like you could see it on the street. Just has, you know, kind of a rock and roll for the short hair feeling. Very clean, easy, fuller at the crown for the short hair, nothing straight.
De La Renta's calling for fall, a season full of embellishment, rich color, and hardy knitwear.
Rich, deep colors, you know, that I work with, a lot of deep reds, burgundies, browns, and a lot of the Loden color, you know, which I love. And there's a certain sort of sense of, you know, ethnic feeling to the collection, but you don't really know where it comes from. The richness of the fabrications, you know, and all the different things that I have used and all the different textures, because I think that texture is such an important part of the collection, you know. I love the big taffeta skirts because that's always the gypsy part of me, you know, who always sort of like a ruffle in a woman, because there is nothing more feminine than a ruffle. Obviously, evening still is a very important part of the collection for me because, you know, it's a much more relaxed way of dressing for the evening, except for grand ball gowns. What is best about fashion today is that there is no fashion. You know, that there are so many different options. I just hope that everybody will love it, you know.
The decorative look of fall took shape backstage at Fendi with metallic lids and poetic hair.
There's lots of gold or silver, and sometimes there's a lip, but the effect is that on the catwalk it sort of really lights up, and it's a weird effect.
Quite unstructured and very romantic, really, and just quite loose, and it's kind of like after dinner hair, really.
Karl Lagerfeld described his collection for Fendi as being an ongoing conceptual exchange of values between matter and color. In fashion phrase, this graphic language was translated to mean intarsia-like pattern, geometrics, and striping in a kaleidoscopic palette.
It was all about being graphic. It was the only way to put lots of color in one piece. Huh? You know, it's like playing with like children with toys in a playroom.
He did all those furs in psychedelic prints, and the clothes were psychedelic, and it was just over-the-top opulence.
Rich and light, and not heavy rich. Rich with fun, not rich with seriousness. Fur has to be treated like an extreme refined material, but not as just fur.
A great, brilliant man of the 20th century. He's a man of all seasons and all talents.
The ability of the Fendi workrooms to produce the most innovative leather and fur is what has kept this house at the top of its game. Technical exploration this season resulted in sheared fur that resembled Crayola creations and Argyle prints. Dynamically cut frosted sables and chainmail inserts gave mink structure. Silvia Venturini, the daughter of Anna Fendi, continued to master the accessory end of the line, turning out bags that became collector's items.
I think it's really the time that accessories are becoming a real part of our wardrobe, and they are treated as clothing. I like very much the small bags because I think they are really more glamorous, but when they are big, they must be very, very, very big.
The locksmith to luxury, Karl Lagerfeld for Fendi. Staged in the Sadler's Wells Theater, the HUSSEIN CHALAYAN team was readying for another unconventional presentation of the Cerebral Designers' fall collection.
The idea for the hair really is based on topiary, which is like the cutting of bushes and plants. The idea came from one of the dresses, actually, a tulle cut dress. This dress is cut down so it's really hard and really structured, and that's where the idea for the hair came from.
Just like a hint of blush on the cheek and just above the temple, kind of a little romantic. There's like a sticker that we're putting on with a shape. It's like a cellophane that's going right along the cheek, just so that it'll sort of, when it hits the light, it'll have a shine to it, just by the shapes in the clothes and the furniture that's being used on the show and the shapes in the hair. It kind of all ties in together.
The enigmatic HUSSEIN CHALAYAN was reluctant to discuss the inspiration for his collection.
I'd rather actually you interpret it in your own way. That's not like a trick comment or anything. It's just more interesting for people to interpret visual propositions like that than for me to really explain where it came from.
The set design we're going for was to have a sort of very stylized room. The idea was to have lots of possessions in the room and then all the possessions to be gone at the end of the show. And in that we were kind of looking at the plight of various refugees taking possessions, anything from, you know, the things on the shelf down to the chairs that they ended up kind of folding up and taking away with them.
I guess that I'm subconsciously influenced by architecture. I don't think looking at buildings necessarily inspires me. I think the whole idea of space and the whole idea of the relationship of the body to space, for me, is interesting, and the parallels between the relationship of the body to clothes. It was supposed to be like somebody's wardrobe, so it was quite inconsistent. There was a lot of black. It's not really a colour, it's just a thing, really. I wanted to actually work with detail on black rather than use colour and detail. And I like the idea of working with different textures in the same colour. I like the idea of different tones of black and using different textures, but, you know, making the definitions without actually using another colour. I kind of work in a very evolutionary way, that, you know, one thing for me leads to another.
I decided to start my own fashion line. I feel like I have something to offer to the fashion world, and I just threw myself in as a designer.
Backstage, Puffy sets the pace for the show before the show.
It's wild here, isn't it? Wild. Stuff looks great. There are a few things that I can't wait to see on.
Make sure the music is at that level, though. Make sure the music is at that level.
This is where it all goes down. This is before, right? So you got to catch us afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Because we're about to do it for Buffy.
I mean, she's the definition of fabulous and sexiness and beautiful. And, you know, this is my baby right here. She inspires me.
It's going to be fabulous tonight, and I really can't wait to see what new things he's going to bring to us, because I love fashion. So I'm so rooting for him tonight. Go, Sean!
Sean Puffy Combs is a man known for his sexy movie star girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, his controversial music, and now for bringing his street luxe style to the runway.
natural frame. Get them worries off your brain, girl. I'm in your corner, do what you want, it's your thing, girl. Opposites attract, but we one and the same, girl. It ain't a game, so I can't play with you. I wanna lay with you, stay with you, pray with you, grow old and great with you. In good and bad times, we'll always make it through. We're a designer jean company first and foremost, and we just grow and grow and grow, go to next levels and heights you wouldn't expect us to go to. We kind of give you the unexpected. We're not a hip-hop line because I'm a hip-hop artist. This is not a celebrity line that I just attach my name to. I designed the line, and also I studied and I know the business as far as the materials. Like one of the trademark things is my fit. The fit and also the style, the way it makes you feel, what it turns you into. It's almost like Superman's cape. When he throws his cape on, the level of confidence that it gives you, we throw a pair of Sean John jeans on, it just lifts your level of confidence. It makes you feel like you can conquer the world.
I love Sean John and I wear Sean John as much as I possibly can. I live in Sean John. It's either couture or Sean John for me.
Puffy accented his street luxe look with over $6 million in diamonds.
All of the jewelry is featured from the store Fred Layton.
Lots of expensive diamonds.
Platinum deco diamond necklace. Kind of looks like a dog collar on him.
Got a big neck, I'm tough.
He's tough. Pave diamond pinky ring, eternity style band, and contemporary white and black diamond ring.
And a big ass earring.
It's probably a little over a carat diamond with a platinum bezel.
Something that I can't afford, that's what's in my head.
Just some furs, just some diamonds, some cashmere, some denim, leather, some wools. You know, I mean, I love all types of fabric. I love real quality fabrics, quality goods.
Beautiful line, great line.
It's a proud moment, but I had a lot of help. We worked together as a team, and we designed some of the hottest flavors that are out there on the fashion world today, especially in urban high fashion.